Day 373 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 2404, most frequent even element. The difficulty level is easy, so you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go ahead and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. Says, given the integer array nums, return the most frequent even element. If there's a tie, return the smallest one. If there's no such element, return -1. All right, y'all, so that sounds simple enough, but let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure we're doing this problem correctly. So in example 1, we have the input nums equals an array of integers 0, 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, and 1. The output is 2. The explanation says the even elements are 0, 2, and 4. Of these, 2 and 4 appear the most. We return the smallest one, which is 2. So let's break this down one step further. What we want to do is we want to return this most frequent even element. So in this case, the even elements are 0, that's even, 2's are even, and 4's are even, and we want to return the most frequent one. As we can see, 2 and 4 both occur twice, so they both have this even amount of frequency or the same frequency. So when that occurs, it says right here, if there's a tie, then we're going to return the smallest one. So since 2 is smaller than 4, we return 2. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 2, right? So in example 2, we have the input nums equals an array of integers 4, 4, 4, 9, 2, and 4. This one's pretty simple because we can see right here that 4 appears 4 times, 3 right there and once over here, so the output is 4. Its explanation says 4 is the even element that appears the most times. 9 and 2, 9 is not even an even element, so we don't even have to include that. And 2, both of them, they only appear once compared to 4 appearing 4 times, so we can return 4. Now let's look at an example where there is no such element, right? In example 3, where they might try to trick us or throw a trick question our way. So in example 3, we have the input nums equals an array of integers 29, 47, 21, 41, 13, 37, 25, and 7. As we can see, all of these integers are odd. There are no even elements, so we return -1. It says right there, if no such element occurs, then we return -1. Explanation says there is no even element. So that's why we return -1. So now that we understand the question, y'all, let's get into the fun part. Code is not going to be that difficult, y'all, so get excited about that. Now let's get started. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to create a dictionary that will keep count of the even elements for us, or a place where we can store the number of even elements. So for that, we're going to create a dictionary. We could call it freak, short for frequency. So we're going to say var freak equals a dictionary of integers. So int :int, come outside of that and put the parentheses. Now we need to count the frequency of each even number. So for that, we're going to say for num in nums, which is going to allow us to iterate over the whole array. We can say if num mod 2 equals 0. This is how we're going to find the even elements, right? Because this right here, this mod right here, what it does is it gets us the remainder after we divide something. So if we divide a num by 2 and the remainder is 0, then we know it's even, and then we can add that number to the freak. So we can say freak square bracket num comma default :0, then come outside of that and say plus equals 1. So first we're going to get all the even numbers, right? Or all the even elements in the array. Once we get the even elements in num, we're going to append those elements to this dictionary, right? And we're going to store it right here. And this default value is where we're going to keep the count. So the count, we're going to start at 0, and each time we see that number or that element, we're going to add 1 to the count to keep count of how many times we see that number. Now we need to handle the case if no even numbers are found, then we could just return -1. So for that, we could come right here. We could say if freak dot is empty, then we can open up the brackets and we could just say return -1. Boom. Now we need to find the most frequent even number and breaking ties by the smallest number, right? So for that, we're going to come right here. Oh, sorry, y'all. We're going to come right here. And we are going to say return freak.keys.sorted. So that's going to help us sort them so we can know which element has the most occurrences. Then we're going to say if freak square bracket $0 exclamation point should come after the square bracket equals freak square bracket $1. Once again, put the exclamation point. Then we're going to open up the brackets. So this is going to check to see if we have the same amount of, if they have the same frequency, if their frequencies are equal or they appear the same amount of times, we know to sort them with the lowest number. So we're going to say return $0 is less than $1, just like that. Then we're going to make sure we put the highest frequency first. So for that, we're going to come right here and we're going to say return freak square bracket $0, come outside the square bracket, exclamation point is greater than freak square bracket $1. Come outside that, put the exclamation point. And then we need to come right here because we want the most frequent even element. So after they're sorted, we need to make sure that we return dot first. So the first one in the sort. So let's go ahead and give this a run. Make sure it runs properly before we submit it. And it's accepted, y'all. So let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. Ooh, look at that. 42 milliseconds beats 8% of users with Swift. We could definitely get those numbers up, but we'll get those numbers up as we continue down our LeetCode journey. Right now, we just want a solution that is easy to understand, that we can learn from, and I feel like this is one of those solutions that will allow us to understand it and learn it so that we can use this knowledge on future LeetCode problems as we continue down our LeetCode journey. Because if you don't understand the solution, then you probably didn't learn anything, and that's not what we want. So with that being said, y'all, make sure you get one more look at the code. This is the whole code right here. Get one more look at it, read it, learn it, love it. And I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.